Not allowing a run in 2 2/3. No reason to send one up in the bullpen as of yet. 1-2 on the way to Ritter. Fly ball deep right. This one's back. It's at the wall. That ball is gone! Jamal Ritter can't touch the ball. The Keys lead 3-1. Here's the 2-2. Grounder up the middle. It gets through for a base hit. Rounding third and coming home is Hazard, and we are tied. The Keys have come all the way back. On the way. Here's the 1-0. Big rounds up the middle. It gets through. Rounding third and coming home is Green. Did you have any doubt? No way. The Keys walk it off on a history-making day. On the line, here's the 1-2. Breaking ball called, strike 3. Jake Hunter strikes out the side, and it's another 1-2-3 inning. Top of the 5th inning from Trenton Thunder Ballpark in Trenton, New Jersey. Gus Baylow back here with you on the Frederick Keys Radio Network, as coming back up to this to lead things off is the leadoff man of the night in Cam Pittman, who's back up for his first time. Sets a second inning. Keys still lead at 2-1 despite getting out hit 5-2. It was timely opportunities for the Keys that brought home a couple runs early, and they've been able to keep the Thunder off the board since then. Certainly have to feel like they'll have to get at least a couple more runs to hold on to this one, but still leading it by 1 heading into this top of the 5th. Connor holds back out for a 5th inning. First off, run home. In for a strike going 1 as he just gets it in on the outside corner. So the count runs at 0-1 for Cam Pittman, who's 1 for 2 on the night. On just 2 base hits for Frederick. The other one coming from Trey Lipsy on the bunt single. The 0-1 pitch, swung on and missed again, 0-2. Give a lot of credit to Connor Holtz, who has really settled down. He had that tough first inning, but ever since then has really settled down nicely. Here comes Seth, the 0-2. Downstairs again, and puts the count on 1-2 for Cam Pittman. One ball and 2 strikes on the way for Pittman. Average up now to 241. He'll take the 1-2 upstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count for Cam on this Tuesday night, and first of a 3-game set and the first of an 8-game road trip. After the game Thursday, they'll drive 5 hours west to West Virginia and then head about 3 hours north to State College to round out the 8-game road trip. That will last until next Tuesday, a week from tonight. 2-2. Ground ball to the right side, but foul. It'll be the longest road trip the Keys have had in really the last several years, and I believe might be since they've been in the draft league. Of course, last year their longest was 6. With both those trips coming in the first half. But they will finish the year at home, so that's kind of how you make it up. You finish the year of 7 in a row at home. That is certainly nice to have. 2-2. Popped up, left side. It will get out of play. It will, as it just gets over the wall and bounces off the dugout. Into Lucky Fan. Nice catch by the fan on the third base side. So again, it'll be the longest road trip they've had this season, and the longest in the last several years as well. Of course, next year with the Keys being in the South Atlantic League, those road trips will only get larger in terms of especially in terms of distance. On the 2-2, it's popped in the air left side and out of play. That one well out of play heading into the NJM Insurance Group party deck down the left field line. Two balls and 2 strikes to count. He'll come back, set the 2-2 from Holtz inside, and Pittman goes down. A scary situation as bolting out of the dugout comes Josie Harding, the trainer, as Cam Pittman took a fastball. Looks like it did in fact hit him, so he will head back to first base, and it looks like he'll be all right. And Josie Harding did all that running for nothing. But that is a good thing, as Preston Wilson and Josie both laugh it off. It's a good thing when Pittman doesn't have to get looked at, and Josie, who ran out, again, it looked like it hit his face, and of course in that situation you have to always be prepared. But he does get down to first base, and with that will put runners now on first. Leadoff man aboard for Trey Lipsy. First pitch in for a strike, no throw as Schroeder almost threw it down back to first. But there was no throw officially made by John Schroeder. One ball and no strikes to count on home for Lipsy. Bolton his 84th pitch of the outing. Comes set and fires. Fly ball right center field. It says carry. It's back to the wall. It gets down for hit into the gap in right center. The slide from Collins comes to no avail. Pittman's going to round third and come home. He will score, and Lipsy has a stand-up triple. Trey Lipsy of an RBI stand-up triple gives the Keys that insurance run they need, and the Keys now lead at 3-1. A ball that was hit well into the gap in right center brings Pittman all the way around from first to home. And just like that, the Keys are back in business with their first run since the first. They lead back by 2. So Lipsy now reaching base all 3 times. And now up is Jamal Ritter. First offer. Checked his swing. He goes around for a strike. So now Lipsy stands at third, and that run, a big one for the Keys. With the Thunder, they've been able to get the base hit, so certainly you feel like they might score at some point again. That insurance run definitely huge, giving them some breathing room. Now they got a 4th run on third, and the 0-1 pitch takes a hop, but a good block by Schroeder keeps Lipsy staying at third base. One ball and 1 strike to count now for Jamal Ritter, who has 2 home runs and 16 RBIs after he had a homer in the previous homestand as well for the Keys last week. The 1-1 pitch. Foul off, straight back, just trying to put it in play as Ritter to bring home a run. The infield is playing farther back as well, so they are willing to concede a 4th run. As more than likely, if it gets into the middle infield, that would bring home Lipsy rather easily. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count for the Norfolk State product, Jamal Ritter. Holtz gets his sign on his 88th offer. He comes home and it's fouled again by Ritter. What certainly will probably be the last inning of the night for Connor Holtz. Now he'll face off against Ritter for a 3rd time. He's 0 for 2 so far, fly out to center and a strikeout. The 1-2. Again, Ritter fouls it off once more. Staying alive just barely. 3rd straight foul keeps the count at 1-2. Holtz sets again, the 1-2. Downstairs, 2-2, good block by Schroeder once more. Connor Holtz, who again, he's got some really good stuff, and certainly after not pitching a ton at Florida State, he certainly has shown what he can do in that starting role. During his college career, he wasn't a starter really at all. Back in 2024, he had 27 appearances of relief for the Seminoles. But again, in his career, just 1 start while he was in college. Little chopper down the third base line on the 2-2, and it rolls foul. I'll tell you what, that's great awareness by the third baseman, Beebe, who on most situations probably would have picked that up, but he instead let it roll, and eventually it goes into foul ground, and that saves a run. Lipsy now goes back to third, and Ritter comes back up. That's a heads-up play by Beebe at third base. Two balls and 2 strikes to count, as now the infield will come in. So the sign is on from Sean Chacon and his infield as they will come in not willing to concede the run. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Popped in the air. This is not going to be a tough play in shallow left center. Making the catch is Uran, and Lipsy has to hold. Big first down as Lipsy's got to hold up at third base. Initially, it looked like it might have been a tough play if the infield playing further back. But able to make the catch with enough time to spare as Uran for the first down. Welcome back, everyone, to the AWRE pregame show here on the Frederick Keys Radio Network. I'm pleased to be joined by the hero from yesterday, Devan Bade, who finished with the one hit, but it was a big one, the bases clearing for RBI double in the bottom of the ninth to hand the Keys a second walk-off win, both of which have been by you, Devan Bade. So thanks so much for joining us here this morning. First off, going to that at-bat, what was the approach? It was a new pitcher, first pitch as well against Skylar Riedinger in relief. You took him to left center field. What were you looking for in that approach?
Honestly, I was looking for anything over the plate. He threw his slider almost just as much as his fastball. His fastball's around 91. So I was kind of just looking for something over the plate, and I was just thinking about driving in just the one run because we had nobody out, and he ended up giving me a slider right over the plate. We worked on hitting sliders and BP, so it looked good. Smacked in the gap, and I was telling Cam, run as hard as you can so we can win this game.
Yeah, those guys are running hard. Tony Diaz, your third base coach, is wheeling those guys around all the way. How did it feel when Hazard just got under the tag and when you guys were able to get the walk-off win?
Such a good feeling. I didn't have a hit till that moment, and you know what they say, when nobody cares about the first four at-bats, they care about that last one to help your team win. And I was on second base and watching Cam come in, the shortstop's throwing, and he got around the tag, so I appreciate him getting in there to help us win the game for that.
That's also, as you mentioned, your second walk-off win of the year. Did you have a lot of walk-offs prior to the season, or has this been a new thing you've sort of adopted?
It's a very new thing. I had one walk-off last summer, and that was my first walk-off ever in my life. So it's crazy to not only have one, but two this season, and having one last week. So it's great feeling that it's in pro ball.
Now for you, as you continue to get deeper into the season, you've been a go-to guy in a lot of ways, especially in that top of the order. You've moved up at times to that 2 and 3 spot. So what's it been like to now be at the center of the Keys lineup and one of the team leaders in average across the board?
It's such a great feeling. Back at college, I batted third. So I love being in that order because I know the pitches I'm probably going to get. And I love just being the center of the lineup to help my team win.
You guys are now looking today for a series sweep. It's a day game today. A lot of kids here for Super Splash Day at the ballpark. You guys are looking to get a series sweep at home. What's it going to take for a Keys win?
Honestly, it's just keep playing the game we are. We're just hanging in there. Yesterday was just a prime example of how tough we are. We hung in there. Our offense came through at meaningful times. Our pitching gave us a shot. And honestly, it's just having fun today, especially with the kids being there. It's what they look up to us watching, so it's going to be a fun game to have all them cheering us on and keep playing Keys baseball.
Devan, thanks so much for joining us, and best of luck today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That's Devan Bade. We'll have the rest of the AWRE pregame show after this on the Frederick Keys Radio Network.